Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampinUp.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Today I have some really pretty cards to share with you. They're part of the Color Fusers challenge for today. So I have a blog, hop on my blog, you'll find my blog right here, using Gray Granite, Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, and Whisper White. So these color challenges really test me a little bit. When you are challenged to make cards with just these colors, and then we can use neutral colors too. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So what I do when I get ready to start this color challenge is I get out my ink pads in those colors and I set them in front of me. Then I go look at my ribbon and I decide, do I have any ribbon that's going to match the color challenge? And I did have this Gray Granite ribbon. This is our 1/2-inch textured weave ribbon that matches perfectly with the Gray Granite, and that's one of the things, of course, that I love about Stampin' Up! Is all the color coordinating products. The other thing that I found that would match are these Gingham Gala adhesive backed sequins, and they come in a pack. There's 5 different colors in here. We've got yellow and kind of a peachy coral color, purple, and a lime green color, as well as these iridescent ones that I thought some of them look balmy blue. We've got flowers and little circle sequins. So I decided to incorporate those into my project also. And then, this is really exciting, we have a brand new product. These are our Rectangle Stitched Framelits. This is the first time that I'm actually using them, and can I just say, holy cow, hang on to your horses because these are gonna be huge. These are new in the Occasions mini catalog. So let's get started. I've got 2 cards to show you, and I'll show you exactly how I made them. The first thing I like to do is show you the cardstock layers. So I chose a base of Mint Macaron. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. Then I've got a scrap of Whisper White here, a layer of Gray Granite, and the Gray Granite is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I've got a piece of Whisper White for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. A piece of our Needle Point Nook Designer Series paper. This is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8, and then another piece that's about a 1/2 inch wide by 4 inches long. Let me show you this Needle Nook paper. It is absolutely gorgeous. So one side of the paper are these fun small patterns in bright colors. So we've got Night of Navy, Berry Burst, Flirty Flamingo, Highland Heather, Poppy Parade, Old Olive. Then when you turn these all over, look at this. We've got the butterflies we're going to use for the card today, which has balmy blue in it. So that was perfect for my color challenge. This, and you can see these are all embroidered little circle flowers here. Some really pretty, bright, fun patterns. And of course, that's why they call it Needle Point Nook, because this is all needlepoint. Aren't these just gorgeous? So I'm going to come in, we're going to do a little stamping first. One of the first things I want to do is I want to show you how the Rectangle Stitched Framelits work, because these are pretty cool. And I chose this size for the one that I want to use. Now, there are 13 different framelits in here. So this is a big pack of framelits. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. I'll be right back so I can show you what this does. Okay, we've die cut our rectangle, but the cool thing that it leaves behind on your scrap is stitching marks on here. So remember, these are called Rectangle Stitched Framelits. You get the stitch marks on your negative, and you get the stitch marks on your positive. So you could actually cut out a window on your card front and you would have this neat stitching around the outside. For right now, this is just a scrap, so I'm going to set it aside. And this is the part that we're going to use, but you could certainly use this also. So these do double duty, and I love it when a stamp set does more than one thing, or a framelit set. Okay, I'm going to bring in Balmy Blue, Mint Macaron, and Memento Black. I'm going to stamp with the Balmy Blue right on the bottom of my stitched rectangle. And I'm using the Butterfly Gala stamp set. You guys, if you follow me, you saw me use this last week. This is a fabulous stamp set. Has a matching punch called the Butterfly Duet Punch. And I've got a little note down here, and then I'm going to bring this scrap back in, and we're going to stamp some butterflies. I'm using Memento ink here. And then I'm going to come in with the solid images for my butterflies. So this will do my wings, and I love that these are the photopolymer rubbers so you can see through them and position them perfectly. So we've got, here's my big butterfly, the bottom part I should say. There we go. And then for my little butterfly, I wanted to use the Mint Macaron so I could stick with my color scheme here. And these line up so nicely. They're very easy to use. Aren't those just pretty? Those are just pretty butterflies. All right, then what I found is I like to punch out my butterflies first. Whoops, hang on here. Before I stamp the bodies on them. And I just found it worked out better for me personally. So you can figure out what works good for you personally, but personally for me, this is what I like to do. And that punches out both butterflies at the same time. And now you've got little bodies. There's a body for the little butterfly and a body for the big butterfly. So I'm going to stamp that also in Memento Black ink. And I'm standing up so that I can see directly over top of my butterfly, so I can see what I'm doing here and get those positioned just perfectly. Now I'm going to grab my dimensionals, and I can use a regular size dimensional on this big butterfly. I'm actually using the edges. Don't throw your dimensional sheets away when the edges are all that's left, because they work just as good. And then I'm using a mini dimensional for my little butterfly. All right, I think we're kind of ready for assembly here. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't stick my card in them, because you guys know how good I am at that. Of course, right? Yeah, she's really good at that. I hear you telling people that may be also watching with you. Yeah, she's good at sticking her cards in the ink. It happens. Okay. Whoops, look, I just stuck my finger in the ink and got black on it. So that's great. We're going to try that again. I'm going to flip it over and use the other side and keep my dirty little fingers off my layers from my card. How about that? So, and we're lucky there's two sides to every piece of cardstock. It just so happens too that with this particular framelit set, you can use either side because they both look really good. I'm going to take a little bit of glue, and I like to just run a line of glue on my card layer. And I'm going to bring my butterflies in here. And I'm going to leave just a little gap at the bottom. Like I said that this was 4 inches long, but it's not. It was just a 1/2 inch scrap. So I'm just going to trim it off like that. Okay. This is going to go on the inside of our card, and that's going to add just a little, whoops, I grabbed the wrong glue. A little bit of decoration to the inside of our card so it's not plain, because I don't like plain. I always say the party should not end when you open a card. So you need a little bit of something, something inside there. Then I'm going to take my gray granite layer and my designer series paper, and we're going to add this with a very, very thin little margin. So it's only got, whoops, like a 1/16 of an inch margin. And I wiggled that. There we go. Add this to the front of our card. I like these colors together. I think they're very soft and calming. Then we're going to put our rectangle on there. I'm going to kind of offset it over here to the side, just for a little something different. And then what I did is I brought in my gray granite ribbon. And I'm going to, oops, I want that. Yep, I want my little cuts to go the same way. Does that make sense? Let me explain that a little bit. I cut it this way and this way, so I want them to be the same. Because when I did them differently on the sample that I made a little earlier, it didn't look very good. I'm using mini glue dots, so I'm just sticking those to the back of my ribbon. And those are going to hold that in place quite nicely. And then the other little thing that I'm doing is I'm kind of letting my ribbon hang off the side, because that just draws interest and draws attention to the ribbon. Here comes our butterflies. This is a quick and easy card, isn't it? Put one butterfly here. The other butterfly is going to go like right up here. And then did you guys see those sequins? Oh, here they are. I'm like, what did I do with the sequins? Here come the sequins. And, oops, I'm just going to add some of the circle ones. So, and it's always better to add embellishments in odd numbers. So I tend to like to add 3. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And doesn't that just give your card that little bit of bling that pops it? It just makes it pop. So here's our front of our Butterfly Gala card using the Needlepoint Nook Designer Series paper. Here's the inside. Do you guys want to see the other card? I knew that you would. Here comes my other card. Isn't this pretty? So let me tell you a little bit about it. What I did here is I took the Mint Macaron Stampin' Write marker. This is part of the Subtles markers. You get a whole pack of them in all of our Subtles in our color family. And I colored in the vanilla parts on the butterfly. So it kind of pulled that Mint Macaron card base in with the butterflies. And then this little rectangle right here, the very smallest one, is what I cut out and stamped You've Been on My Mind. And that comes right from the Butterfly Gala stamp set. So I stamped that in Mint Macaron on there. I stamped and punched out a tiny butterfly and added that with a dimensional. This is popped up on dimensionals. Wrapped my ribbon around there. I actually cut my ribbon about this long and taped it on the back and then tied a little piece on the front. These 3 panels of the Needlepoint Nook Designer Series paper. Oh, hang on, I've got my cheat notes here. These 3 panels are 3.5 inches by 1.5, so you need 3 of them at that size. The gray granite is 5 inches by 3 3/4, and then on the inside I again used a 4 by 5 1/4 inch Whisper White layer with a little bit less than 1/2 inch. This was just a scrap of the designer paper that I added down here, so it's a little bit smaller than 1/2 inch. So those are my 2 cards for the Color Fusers blog hop today. We were challenged with Mint Macaron, Balmy Blue, Gray Granite, and Whisper White. And I think I hit it. What do you guys think? If you need to order any of these Stampin' Up! Supplies and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, head on over to my blog. You will find a complete shopping list for all the products that I've used here today. That'll help you. You can just click on it. It'll take you right to my store. I'll have a complete list of all the ingredients I used. All of these dimensions will be listed on my blog also. If you're watching me on YouTube, click down at Underneath the video, it'll say see more. Click that and there'll be a direct link right to this particular blog post so you can continue on the blog hop and see what everybody else made today using this color combination. Click right up here to head over to my blog, online orders. Let me know if you don't have the brand new Occasions mini catalog and the celebration brochure. You need to pop me an email at kelly@astampabove.com and I will get them in the mail to you right away because you really do need a hard copy. They're fabulous. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend it with me. I really do appreciate it. Bye-bye.